Sarah,
You want my packet?
Sarah, do you want your packet back?
Here.
You could have this one, Sarah.
Rob's on vacation, you won't be here.
Yeah.
Is he in Portugal, Chris?
I
Chris?
have, yeah,
Is he back in Portugal?
Okay. He's not.
Wait, is he in Portugal? Is Rob in Portugal?
I believe so. Yeah, he left Tuesday.
Well, if he's on vacation, that's where he went,
There you go.
guaranteed.
I heard he was leaving yesterday.
He bought a nice place there.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Alright, as soon as Mark sits down, we'll call it to order.
Come on, Mark.
Yeah, so Brian tonight, so.
Hi,
I
Mike.
don't wanna wait for him.
Hi, Brent. Hi, Chris.
All of us were on
Hello.
time.
Good evening.
You know? Howdy, howdy. Alright, we'll call, this meeting to order at 5 o'clock. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ex officio member Woodsworth,
Here.
Commissioner Arya,
Present.
Commissioner Frost,
Here.
Where's our
Commissioner
tonight?
Gibbs?
Here.
Is this tonight?
Vice Chair Merritt is absent, and Chair Spiegel,
It's here.
you have a quorum.
Wonderful. Do I have a volunteer for the pledge?
I'll do it.
That's the whole
You
thing?
don't need to, Chris?
Oh, sweet.
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second.
Great.
Who was the first on that?
Keegan?
First
And
was
Chris.
Keegan, and the second was
Chris.
Frost. So Commissioner Gibbs?
Yes.
To the,
They
Yes.
did by acclamation, so
Gotcha.
they all
Yes.
said yes.
perfect, by consent. Okay.
Can we have a report on the posting of the agenda, please?
The agenda for this meeting was properly posted on September 25th, 2025.
Thank you. We don't have any ceremonial presentations, so let's go straight into 2A. Communications from the public. Boys, you wanna speak on something?
I just want to introduce myself. My name is Wes.
Wes, we have a microphone here. Can you stand up to the podium? Thanks, Wes. Where's?
You can
Yeah,
just
it's
sit-
right there.
Yeah, you can just sit here and speak loudly.
So my name is Weston Kuros. I'm here just observing and trying to learn some more.
Right on.
Where are you from?
I'm from Agora Hills.
Oh, cool.
Yes, sir.
Why are you interested?
I've just been into getting politics lately, and I want to kind of just learn a little bit more.
Sweet.
This was the
Fantastic.
closest meeting I saw, and yeah,
Nice, good for
Good.
you.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
thank you.
Is that your brother over there?
No, this is my friend Royce.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Royce.
Moral
Welcome.
support, or are you,
What?
you here for moral support, or are you here to
I'm within.
gather it in? Yeah, okay.
He's gathering
Yeah.
intel as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks
Please
for
turn in
coming.
the speaker card after you're done.
Okay.
All right, let's move into staff updates.
Great, well, good evening, Commission. It's been a busy week as far as homelessness goes, and this week's City Council. So fortunately we had our second reported encampment fire for the year. First one was over at right down the street here at the Bell property. Right next to that, small cooking fire about the size of a cooking pan. So the individual wasn't there when the fire department got there. We went in the following day with the sheriff's department. We cleared the encampment with the property owner. The second one was over the weekend, this Sunday, right by 21950 PCH on the beach. There was a small bonfire that the Fire Station 70 reported to. Fortunately, the individual put it out as soon as seeing the fire department and vacated the area. But obviously, anything that requires a fire department response, we're logging as a fire, as a homeless-related fire. So that's our second for the year that involved the fire department response. There's also been evidence of fire activity at Legacy Park on one other instance that was also self-put out. But once that was identified, staff went out with the sheriff's department, cleared the encampment, and continue to put all the folks in the area on notice on that. So we remain vigilant on that. We're proactively looking for this sort of stuff with the sheriff's department, with the outreach team, with the fire safety liaisons, just kind of looking at where we can really put our hammer down on some of the encampment related fires. The second one for the year, as mentioned, still real good for the year. Hopefully it's our last. We had 7 last year and 3 the year before, which is a significant improvement from 23 and 2021. So hopefully our numbers remain low. As you all know, we declared a state of local emergency this past Monday. So our live field moisture, Gabe can speak a little bit more too, but obviously our threshold is 65%, and we're around that margin now. So we went ahead and declared that state of emergency. And so what that does, it facilitates our encampment removals. So we typically don't need to follow the usual advance notice that we usually have to do of 72 hours at least, and give these folks ample time to leave. Usually with this declaration, we can go in same day and get these folks into a shelter. And so we've been working with the county to have our emergency centralized response center, the ECRC, and so this is a 7-day shelter placement that we can make available at any time. Usually within the hours of the day, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. to get somebody same day placement, especially as it pertains to getting people out of the hillsides, out of the city, and into the shelter placement. So we're doing real good so far on that, but obviously those two kind of fire-related incidents did flare up some discussion. So more to come on that. We have an internal homeless count scheduled for this coming Monday, the 13th. This is strictly staff, strictly outreach team, just to give us a picture of what our homeless count is at this time of year. The one that we participate in every year as part of the county's greater homeless count happens every around January or February. So obviously the population shifts a little bit at this time of year. So we just wanted to get a good idea for what our numbers are currently around this time. So that's happening again on Monday the 13th, and the actual county homeless count already has a date for Malibu. That's on Thursday, January 22nd of 2025. So still a few months away, but once volunteer recruitment begins for all that sort of stuff, we'll push it out. So
2026.
Sorry, 2026. You're right.
So the second?
January 22nd.
22nd.
Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 is when that'll happen. So more volunteer recruitment stuff will be coming up as the months get nearer for that. And just a reminder for the record and for anybody listening in, letter of agency. I really emphasize the importance of getting a letter of agency filed with the Sheriff's Department. Especially if you have your property burned out and you have it fenced off, if you have no trespassing signs. I mean, it's a crucial document to have filed with the Sheriff's Department so that they can fast track enforcement of any trespassing, squatting, or any other criminal activity on the lot. But that's it for me. I'll pass it on to Sarah.
All right, good evening, everyone. So just a few updates here. We did conduct in September our annual safety fair. Ended up being a really great event. We had a lot of vendors and emergency response agencies there, and about 300-ish people came through the event through the time frame. So it was a very great event. Upcoming, we have Emergency Operations Center staff training that we'll be conducting this month and next month. We are preparing our staff in the event we do have to activate for any type of disaster. So we are preparing them on the overall operations of the EOC and any new changes that we've made since last year to our EOC. The Franklin and Palisades Fire After Action Report, we just received our first draft of that from our consultant, and so we will be reviewing that. We're hoping to have that finalized in the coming weeks. And then the last thing is actually, I believe we have an item on the agenda for it, so I will speak a little bit more to the mobile sirens when it comes up on the agenda. That's all I have. I'll hand it off to Gabe.
Good evening, everybody. 2 updates for you. One on the beacon boxes. Last time I think I spoke to you, we had 17 lights out on the boxes. Met with the vendor and he wasn't sure if he could get the parts for it. Anyhow, he did come through with the parts, so hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have all the lights back installed.
Does he fix them himself?
I go with them. Yeah, do it together. Secondly, the live fuel moisture is kind of interesting. Luis touched on it. We activate our city emergency plan at 65% live fuel moisture with the homeless, and we hit that about 2 weeks ago. Every year, the last week of September historically is when the live fuel moisture bottoms out. It's like clockwork, and it stays low until the winter comes around and goes back up. Well, we hit 60% a couple days ago. So that's critical, and that means the fuels are going to burn as if they were dead. So It's kind of bad news. It's under the historical average. It's under last year's at the same time. We got a long way to go, so it doesn't really bode well. But we have to keep in mind that a lot of other factors go into wildfires, right? Humidity, wind, and solar heating. So right now, we got mild temperatures, no significant winds, and because of the monsoonal flows and the hurricanes, we've got incredible humidity. It's been like 70% this week. So we're kind of still in the moderate fire threat danger by adjective right now, but just keep in mind that those fuels are ready to go. So when the Santa Anas kick in, we're going to get probably 7 or 8 of them this year, and that's when everything gets in alignment. But the fuels are ready, and I fear that the percentage is going to drop down to really, really low this year. So that's some great news for y'all.
Thanks, man.
Questions?
Do we have any questions for the staff?
Yes, I have one from Gabe, for
Sure.
Gabe. Will there be any controlled burns?
No, but there are some actions being taken with the county fire department with the Santa Monica Mountains through the Proposition 4 funding that they've actually started working on. They're working off Santa Maria Road up off Topanga. They've been doing that for a few weeks. And they're also sending a herd of goats up to the upper Las Virgenes open space area, I think is what it's technically called, past the 101 up behind Hidden Hills. And so those are the 2 big projects that fire department is working on with the state right now. So.
And I have a question, is there?
So to answer your question, I'm sorry, Alexia,
No,
there's
not
there's
yet.
no controlled burns. It's a political hot potato.
It is?
Yeah, so.
Okay. Because a lot of residents always ask about that.
Well, we used to do them in this area.
Yes.
My partner Brad was involved in many of them over the years in Malibu Canyon, and the powers to be just don't want to do them.
And then, and then also, has there been any like aerial footage of the topography, like you guys have control of what everything looks like? People are concerned about how the brush looks like in the upper Las Virgenes.
Other than, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't know what's out there. Brent might know something about that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they point out, I don't know, the fire chief is here, all the fuel load that's on the backside by Stunt and Mulholland, and then as you go up that side all the way to Malibu Canyon, there's so much fuel there that hasn't burned in years. That's some of the heaviest fuel loads in those areas.
So you're concerned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what Gabe is saying is absolutely right. When you get down to those low, the amount of fuel keeping comment on this too. The risk is high. I know, actually, we have a meeting coming up on Wednesday next week with the chief to talk about different kinds of things that the brigade can do in alignment with the chief. But there's very reasonable concern based on everything that you're saying.
Great, I'm sure we'll be proactive. And then is there any way to get the Franklin after fire report sent to the Public Safety Commission after it's available? Or do you want us to individually ask you for it?
Once it's finalized, we'll be able to issue it out, but we just received the first one.
I-
Still in that
But
process.
after it's ready.
Did you touch the computer?
Thank you.
Oh.
That's all.
They never announced that.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, do you have staff, questions for staff?
No, I saw your video today though, it was really good too.
Oh, which one?
Talking about fuel moisture and.
Oh, okay.
I love that, yeah, it was, you're the best.
Thanks. Thank you.
Put it in one sentence, you're the best.
I was the only person they could get, that's why I was.
You're the best.
Option of last resort.
Chris, questions?
No questions.
Brent?
Yeah, Sarah, just a quick one. It's great to have the public safety that kind of, and as you know, Topanga's gonna do theirs on Saturday, and a lot of folks will be participating in that as well. Just curious, I know there's always been the thought, is there a way to move that maybe next year down to where you have the farmer's market by the library, just so we can dramatically increase the folks coming through from the general public? it's something that might make a big difference if we're more visible down there versus being all the way up here.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. We did try, what we were having an issue with was the logistical standpoint and the financial side of it to relocate the event down there and all the additional items that come with that, is where we're struggling with. And so, if it's something that you guys would like to push up to council to see if they would like to allocate additional
Yeah.
resources to this event, I think we can.
I'm
go
just
from there.
curious, the additional cost to go down there, what was that made?
25.
What's that made of?
25.
Well, you have to look, I mean, it's coming down to, you have to rent the property, you have to bring in, additional restrooms, wash stations, because we have food vendor, there's a lot of logistical side to it. Additional insurances, you had to bring in K-rail, because a portion of the parking lot had to remain open, for the Malibu County Library. So we had to bring in K-rail, which was a large portion of that cost as well. So it was a lot of little items that started to build up, really just to maintain the basic operations of that. So that's kind of why we relocated it last year back to City Hall. But I think in trying to find a new location, I very much agree that it would definitely increase the overall attendance of the event.
Or Zuma or something like that, if we could. So, or Ralph's, I mean, just something that's not up here.
Yeah.
Nothing against City Hall, I'm just saying, I think there are locations that potentially we would be getting a lot more traffic. So I guess it's something to think about. I don't know how you would ask the city council to think about this.
Is there a rough number you could throw out on that cost? Just rough.
You were probably looking at maybe a minimum of about $50,000 to $60,000 to just the event that we had here, to include every aspect of that and the additional relocation.
I think the renting it is 20,000, right? Just to rent it.
No, it wasn't that much. It was, you're renting out two separate locations. You have to rent out the county library side parking lot and SMC parking side as well. And then they have their own stipulations if we use that lot. So.
Does it need to be paid?
Well, if you'd like to bring in the same type of, vendors that we had here, especially a lot of the kids' activities, it would. And also to include the ADA, we wanna make sure it's ADA accessible. Yes.
Trancas was a good location, the one that Keegan, you were involved in that one with
Yep.
Andy Cohen.
Yep.
That had a lot of people, probably the best attendance we've ever had. So, yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, and I think definitely something we can look into for
Yeah,
this year's
and there
event.
might be fundraising opportunities to help support that. I mean, because the community itself is much more conscientious about bomb and fire and hazards now than they were before. And you got the brigade and you got certain other groups that might wanna help participate in that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Luis, the
Yeah.
letter of agency,
Sure.
that's good for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Is a renewal reminder sent out by anyone, be it the sheriff's office?
No.
How can we tweak that process so that, can we explore how to tweak that process?
I don't believe there's a way that we can like automate like a renewal. I mean, the few times where I've helped people renew it multiple times is that it's a property where there's known like homeless issues. You know, I just kind of get into the habit of like, hey, you know, your expiration date's coming up. Like, you know, obviously we go into the property, we know that there's a property where there's been routine homeless encampments before. Like, you should probably consider renewing it again. But I mean, we don't really do that with a lot of properties. But I don't know if we can't automate it in any way. It's not really like something we.
Josh, I tried that about back during COVID.
Mhm.
I tried to get that thing to automate itself, and there was no traction.
Not necessarily automate itself, but
There's no
an
traction.
email reminder or,
Mhm.
you know, even a mailer, like something that arrives in somebody's mailbox. I mean,
Sure.
it just seems something that's very easy.
Yeah.
And I'm learning about government
Mhm.
as I've been in this process, and it's just
Sure.
like, it's, okay.
What we
and
could
then,
do is-
so that's one, keep things on file, and
Yeah.
then two, how to proliferate the spread of the
Yeah.
letter of agencies, so.
File by when?
Have you gotten in contact with maybe the board of realtors or anything
Not
here
yet,
in
not
Malibu?
yet. Right, but
I think that's something that maybe I could help, or Chris and I could help
yeah,
with. Brian?
one of the plans for this fall is to really ramp up our outreach for a letter of agency. I mean, we had our, like, on protecting your property event here not long ago. There's like about 6 people in attendance, but obviously amongst the 6 people that attended, they're like, yeah, this is crucial information. Like, everybody there filed a letter of agency. Like, so the plan is to just really maximize, you know, our
What-
website, our social media, mail, whatever it is that we can do to get the word out. And then obviously you all with your networks, you know, try to push that out as much as possible.
Well, the property owners that we really wanna target, a lot of
Yeah.
the commercial buildings,
Sure.
you know, office buildings, vacant vacant parcels. A lot of these owners, you know, they're not here,
Mhm.
right? They're absentee, they're owned by corporations,
Mhm.
whatever, so I think, yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle, but I think we'll get there.
Mhm.
It's something that we should attack.
Sure.
Thank you for the safety fair, it was awesome. Haven't had Tommy's in a while, that was
It was the highlight.
yeah, it was, yeah, my girls liked it. Will those internal homeless count numbers be available to, okay,
Yeah, we'll be sharing it.
alright, thank you, and, thank you all.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Let's move on. Anybody have anything else?
Well, I'm saving my for
Okay, alright, well, let's do commissioner comments and inquiries, reports. Go for it, Alexis.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for the safety fair. Thank you, Sarah, and everyone else. Gabe, there were some people who wanted it to be more fire-centric, fire safety, so hopefully next year we can teach people more. I don't know, I'm just relaying the message, that's all. I believe in you and I know you're amazing. So, some Malibu residents are worried about brush clearance and the trees and the palm trees they see charred still and things of that nature, so. And Malibu residents want new evacuation plans, they want maritime routes and vessels available. So it hopefully we won't think of it as a sci-fi option, but an science fiction, and actually come up with something where we can use ferries, people can go. It's not impossible, even third world countries have it, so hopefully we can just draft some things for that. So the civic center property, the Bell property, or Smith property, actually it's now Smith, because Bell's brother sold it. It's highly flammable. Do you have the pictures and the videos? So it's extremely flammable. During the Franklin fires, it came within 2 feet of a residential complex that has a lot of senior citizens in it, 90-year-olds in it, and the only amputee from the Woolsey fire lives there, who had to amputate her foot. So,
because of the Woolsey fire? It was an accident?
she's the only amputee during Jefferson's life, Jefferson's case. The only person who was
I don't think she amputated her foot.
No, part of her, yeah.
Toe.
I'm sorry, no, like a half of it. Half of it. And, so, when that area was engulfed in flames, there were 8 engines who were helping, right? Okay.
I was trying to get these on a slideshow.
Yeah, there were 25, okay, so.
familiar.
So everybody, so there were 60 to 70 foot high flames in that area. This is, yeah, and very close. It came within 2 feet of the complex. There were 8 engines who successfully set it off, but we're not always going to have 8 engines right there because they were there. It's a highly inflammable area. I don't know where the issue is. If somebody took a cup of water and poured it there, I've lived in Malibu for 22 years. I've never seen it be wet, as they claim. All the trees were engulfed, as you guys can see. The entire area was engulfed. It wasn't just, let's look at that. And there were 8 engines, look at it, everything is burning, like everything. Can the deputy see it too? Oh, they, yeah.
This isn't down by the tennis, behind the tennis court,
Yeah.
or whatever, before the.
Yes, yeah, it's at Civic Center, the Bell property. And the trees are charred, the trees are still there. The brush is still there. Tumbleweeds, I mean, it's frightening, it's right there, there's nothing, and people now want it not touched. So,
That went before the city council a month ago?
it did, and then there was a no, and then.
Call it a
yeah.
wetland
Now,
buffer
you see there are
exception.
8 engines
So,
there,
yeah,
the
that's one.
entire thing, look at
That's
it,
one.
the entire thing was inflamed, not just the trees. And you see all of the trees are inflamed. This can happen again, especially the next time a homeless person is cold and wants to have something lighted. It's, the area, the civic center is, I guess you can call it the city part of Malibu. High population area, so it could go all the way to Pepperdine. Very scary, and basically this is showing you the entire place, it's not just the trees. It wasn't just, you know, I mean, so it's, I just wanna go on record, on record and say that. This is a highly flammable area.
I was trying to get him on the slideshow.
So this is a highly flammable area, and we should look at that. It's 70 feet high, right there.
I got a couple comments about that.
Yeah, and it's a highly flammable area.
Sure you do.
And hey, I know, those are people are my friends. I wanna say this and go on record. Those people are my friends, my longtime friend, who say they want it untouched. I've been vegan for 27 years, and so, but my friends are all at stake. I mean, if you're, say you're an environmentalist to the point where you don't mind fires engulfing other people, the issue is, you eat steak, so if you love the environment so much, be a vegan for like 10 years, then this is, I think, to keep it, to call it Isha, somebody who's lived here for 22 years, I'm saying, I've never seen it wet, I've never seen a bullfrog, I've never seen anything. So it is a very dry, arid area, very flammable, mark my words, very dangerous.
Isn't there a city council item about this property?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanna go on the record, say that even though people who call them, and I love them, they're my friends, they say we're environmentalists, but it's the same thing that happened to Big Rock. People who were saying we're environmentalists, they prevented boats from brush clearance of upper Big Rock, and we lost 2 people in Big Rock because of that. There are a lot of elderly who live in this complex, a lot of people who live in that complex, it's right next to people, it's right on the balcony, it's like right next to. So it's very dangerous, I just wanna go on record, say it's very dangerous, and if you're an environmentalist, you know, you have to like be a full-fledged, if you wanna decide whether I live or die in the next fire, so. Thank you for the free, I don't know, therapy session, okay, next to the, thank
On
you so
this-
much, Gail.
On
Try to
this,
get on
we can,
slideshow.
the 3 of us, we were right up there
Thank
at night,
you.
watched the whole thing.
So you
Front
saw
row
every
seats.
inch
Yeah,
of
we
it.
saw the whole
And
thing
there were
happen.
8 inches, but we won't always have 8 inches.
I'll
like
just do
there.
a quick, like,
Yeah, I'll do, I'll
just
be
sure
done.
being fast, no, I'm saying I'll give,
Yeah.
so,
I'll do it.
I'm pretty sure the condos own the little slope that goes down to the wetland area.
Yes.
That hasn't already been the brush clearance, we should obviously do that. We should probably just remove those palm trees, because palm trees.
But it's not 5 feet horizontal, it's impossible to do 5 feet, and, because that goes into the Smith Brothers property. And it is highly arid, it's an arid land, could be Nevada, could be, you know, so it's not Esha and it's not wet.
And then
It's not wetland.
the construction zone from the 2018 Woolsey fire that still has rocks on it, should one day get remediated, hopefully.
That's-
And then,
Well,
It's
that
still
was
a current
between the
lawsuit.
parking lot
Yeah.
for the SE.
and then, yeah, exactly, and then, the big, development that's brought up right next to Whole Foods, they were pumping 1 million gallons of fresh water out of the ground a day for like 2 years. And that's why that ground is dry.
That's right.
1 million gallons a day.
Yeah, so
And
the
so that's why the
cosmic,
wetland is no longer a wetland, is because they.
No, it wasn't
Hold on,
called
moisture.
I'm gonna guide us back.
not even before
Yeah,
two
Not on the
thousand.
agenda,
Sorry,
so
sorry.
we gotta
Not
dial
even
it back a
before
little.
2018, so I wanna go, and this is my proclamation, extremely dry, highly flammable area, highly dangerous. we're not gonna have 8 agents, but we did in Franklin Fire, who were amazing. They actually, you guys were amazing.
But you will have the brigade. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So, residents say, I told this to the sergeant already, they want more arrests or warning done on unhoused individuals who harass, assault, or accost women and children. They have a very different behavior toward men, completely different. They present really well to men, especially like, strong law enforcement, but a sizable percentage harass women and children. So as of now, the children who want to walk from Sarah Retreat to the elementary schools on Winter Canyon, the PTA have decided that they shouldn't do that. The kids cannot walk from their home to school because of the area at the library, only because of the unhoused individuals. And then there's one psychological condition that I assessed and I diagnosed, and I shared it with the DMH, with one of the DMH clinicians, and they're gonna use it for the global assessment functioning scale for the for the unhoused people in Malibu. So, and we can't name it, but, and also I checked with People's Concerns, civil rights attorneys, and DMH, Department of Mental Health. They said that at commission meetings, when I say, so this is for Luis, when I say the first letter of the first name, it's not a violation of the HIPAA. The last time you said it, it's not. Because I know all of them, I've been involved with it for many years, and just the first letter of the first name will not violate their rights or integrity, and nobody knows really their names that much, so I know. So that's that. And then we're looking forward to the 3 fires that the unhoused people started. We're a very kind city, but we also want to be very vigilant toward the real problem of unhoused fires. I got 2 complaints about IPS employees again. One senior citizen said that this gentleman was rude and snobbish toward her, an 80-year-old lady, and another complaint was about an IPS employee that was shouting and making a scene at Malibu Yogurt because the employee said that he couldn't hear the IPS employee's order. So maybe we can kindly ask them for humility and kindness toward people. Almost done. So, and then the Malibu residents just want to make sure that there is no mentality that the RFPs that are expensive for public safety or anything, that there's no concept of blank check, there's no concept of unlimited budget, that we really have to be conservative with budget. And the families are saying the youth in Malibu are still searching for more safe recreation centers for them to develop their skills and talents. They want to feel safe, and they want to be able to do sports, arts, and everything. Thank you. Sorry if I took too long.
No, you're okay, thank you. Keegan, what you got?
Take
I
notes.
don't have anything.
Alright.
You want anything on Civic Center?
A couple things. We're starting to get, Luis and I have talked about this, starting to get a little bit of an RV buildup. The RVers have figured out that if they have out-of-state plates and they get ticketed, that their state is not gonna try and collect the fines when they re-register their RVs in those states. So I did a little research, I called South Dakota, stayed on hold for an hour, waiting for somebody from their DMV to talk to me. And she actually went and got answers for me, but she said, no, national database doesn't affect parking tickets from California, so the person can go ahead and re-register, get their tags or whatever. So we have one at the West End that now has run up $64,300 in fines.
Is that true?
And yes, it is true. We looked it up. Luis and I looked it up. And this is a person that we gave a gas card to a year and a half ago with the express,
That they would have to move it, right?
Yeah, you have to move it. She was going to Santa Barbara. She went up in front of 56's, the fire station Ventura, parked it there, stayed there about 3 months, and came back to Malibu, and she's all over the West End. You know, I think you've seen it too.
Yeah.
$64,000 is a lot of money, and they figured out they can jam the system. They can stay there forever. as long as their tags don't run out. And the only, I guess probably the only way to get them out of there is at some point determine that they're living in California with South Dakota plates, because they've been here, you know, verifiably over a year, and maybe that's the only way you can go. These guys know the law. They know that they're, was it the Fourth Circuit Court on the towing the cars, Fourth Circuit? Ninth Circuit,
Wow.
have said we can't tow them
Yeah.
for parking tickets, and they consider oversized parking tickets.
Yeah, so-
Anyway, that's
seen
that.
that. I've seen
The
that
SCE
obviously.
meeting last night, the Edison meeting last night. There's a saying about, you know, you can't put lipstick on a pig, and that's kind of what they tried to do. And it still looked the same when we left. Felt the same, smelled the same. They basically told us that we're gonna have more PSPS and for longer periods. And when it was addressed that, why when the wind isn't blowing at all down here and it's dead still and Zuma looks like you could water ski up there, why are we shut off still 12 hours later? And of course, they came up with the same thing saying, well, the weather stations over the hill show that we have wind over 31 miles an hour and we're shutting it off. And no amount of concern from the citizens about kids out of school for 30 days, thousands of dollars in groceries getting dumped, none of this stuff made any difference. They're not gonna lower our rates, and they basically told us, they didn't tell us in so many words, but the feeling was they're still gonna continue to bill us for their mistakes. So it wasn't a very good meeting. They got hammered pretty good. I thought they sat up there and handled it pretty well considering. You know, they're pretty kind about it. You said that, you're able to move the encampments now? Have you moved the one at Westward, the one next to Sunset?
The one
The one
on
up
the
on
little
the
hillside. I'm waiting for the that's on private, so I've already spoke to the property owner, I'm still waiting for them to toss it.
Is it on Sunset's property or on?
It's on the Sunset parcel.
And they're not willing to do anything?
They said they were gonna do it, but then I go back and it's still there, so follow up is needed.
So is there anything?
It is vacant though.
Oh, there's nobody up there now?
No.
The
One of the,
dwellers are gone? Everything's gone?
one of the gentlemen who was in there was arrested not long ago, and the other one was seen wandering in Ventura.
It wasn't the two guys that used to, okay.
Used to be
Okay.
there, but no longer.
Also, and Soderlund, Sergeant Soderlund touched on this the other night, is that with these letters of agency, we're getting graffiti now in the fire area down there in the burn area, and we've got quite an artist's painting on one of my listings down there. It wasn't gang related, you looked it up, it wasn't gang related, but another reason to get a letter of agency right there. So, and those people spent some time on that, it wasn't like they just did that and nobody saw them, people had to have seen them, so, that's all I have.
Just real quick on the trees, one of the things that I have seen, and I don't know if there's a great answer to this, is that after the fire, there's a number of lots that have been cleared, and you'll see the trees that were marked with usually an X and two lines below it, or maybe a white arrow to it. It means the tree's dead and they were gonna cut the trees as the Army Corps went through. But the only ones they were cutting were ones that, if, as a dead tree, if it would fall on the roadway, so they cut. Challenge is that there are a lot of burned out lots with a lot of dead trees that in essence are the responsibility of the landowner and not the state or county or anybody to do it. And they're not being cut, they're all just a lot of dead stuff that's sitting out there. And there's quite a bit, I don't have a secret answer for that, but to me it's a concern because you have so much dead or close dead. And it may be just now, it could still burn, you know, it may have destroyed part of the root system. Or the other issue is in a high wind, as we get these Santa Ana winds, if the root system burned per se, it's still, you know, here's a 100-foot tree, it's gonna go over, right? So, not sure, I mean, Gabe, I don't know if you've run into that or not,
Yep.
but it's something I know Lost Forest was looking at, and there's a lot of it, so it's,
We're waiting to hear from the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a requested $4 million grant for tree removal. And they guaranteed us we'd hear by the end of the year. And if we do get it, we certainly would want to start on that end of town.
That's a big grant.
It's a big grant.
and that's sort of what was in the back of my head when you had the like 300K before.
Yeah.
Because I see no other way to do it than
Yeah.
the city or the county coming in and saying, fine, we'll do it for these lands. Because the landowners,
Yeah.
a lot of these cases, they have no money, they can't do it.
Yeah, hopefully we can do it. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's very hard, so that's one thing. Other than that, I would comment just in general for like the brigade standpoint. Keegan and I were on a call yesterday talking about bringing on new people. We had about 112, 113 people on the call at the same time. Wonderful response from the local communities. And we'll be doing more education coming up in November, additional training on home ignition zone. We're not gonna run into a conflict with too many people doing home ignition zone stuff. The more people, the better, Gabe, of what you do and what any of the other communities can do to make people aware of the risks that they have in their houses, so much the better. So it's a great program to have, and I constantly applaud what you and your team do. I think it's fabulous.
Thank you.
So, anyway, that's it for me.
Thank you, Brent.
Sure.
Couple questions. The temporary location for the year-round tow yard, that went to council, got kicked back. When is it going back?
No date yet, because we has to get represented so that we can initiate the process for the zone text amendment. The plan is to definitely present it back within the next couple of months, so.
Okay.
So,
Good.
yeah, we wanna fast track it. So.
Okay. You know, I got on this commission primarily because, you know, we're reducing death
Yeah.
in our community. I don't mean to call them out publicly. It would be nice if we had Public Works.
Mhm.
I know he's on vacation, but we need to know what's going on the highway. So if we can slight nudge, get them back. Table, I think this is, you know, missed a few meetings. That's all right. Shit happens, but it's important.
100%.
We're ramping up fire season. Just wanna say, you guys are all doing a great job. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for everything that you will be doing. And, I know that you guys, you know, when you're not around, you know, you live in other places, you guys can call us, right? So if you need anything, call any of us, we're here. Alright, thanks again. Let's move on. Consent calendar. I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar. It's just one item.
Second.
Who was the second on that?
Frost.
Ross? So we're gonna do a roll call, or is it by consensus?
Consensus.
Consensus?
Yeah.
All right. It's been, motion carries.
Thank you. Alright, 5A, mobile high-powered speaker stations. Is that you, Sarah? Thank you.
Alright, so this item is on the mobile high-powered speaker stations. The city of LA, they, received, 6 mobile high-powered speaker stations through WASI grant, and they offered up 4 of those to cities within LA County. And we are in the process of receiving 2 of those, speaker stations. So this item kind of goes through, we really want to set a criteria to determine which areas that we would place these mobile speaker stations during specifically a red flag warning. So these things can be used for any type of disaster, and it's really going to be incident based on placement of these, but specifically, something happening, you guys are all.
No, you're good.
Specifically during those red flag warning days. So in working with our fire safety liaisons and kind of setting a basic criteria, we were looking at, you know, neighborhoods with limited ingress and egress routes, neighborhoods near to or within significant fuel loads and highest wildfire risk, neighborhoods where cellular or internet-based systems may be impacted due to public safety power shocks, neighborhoods that are densely populated, and areas must be accessible for station towing and quick and safe deployments. And based on that criteria, we kind of identified the following neighborhoods: Ramirez Canyon, Malibu West, Big Rock, Point Dew, and Malibu Park. So we're just kind of looking for your input on that criteria and the proposed neighborhoods.
What was after Big Rock?
It's on the
Point Dew
second,
and Malibu
it's
Park.
on the second page. Just go ahead and
So that's all I have, so.
Okay, cool. Sweet. What about the city lineup at Corral?
Pointing up.
Yeah, it's like, it's far, cause we're only allowed to go to the city perimeter, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be within city limits.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the,
It's right there.
Do we have an opportunity to test these things? Where are they right now?
Commission, we have a member of the public.
Oh, boom.
nice.
Hit us.
I was just curious, do you guys specify what emergencies these are gonna be used for? Because that could be a slippery slope. You could start, another COVID outbreak happens and you're saying, on the loudspeaker, stay inside. You gotta be careful, how far you go with it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So they can be used for any disaster, any incident, because they are mobile. We can place them anywhere, and they have a lot of capabilities. So it's not just sirens. We can program messages. There are sirens, several tones available, pre-recorded scripts, and ad-hoc voice alerting. So they can be placed anywhere for any type of disaster.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And tow it around.
So, we don't really know if these things work, right? It's indoors. Are we able to, where are these physically right now?
They're with the city of LA.
Okay.
So they're in their process with their city on trying to transfer those here to Malibu. It is a process. They have their own process that they have to go through before they can even transfer them to us here. We have to do a walkthrough. We have to find secure locations to store these things. They do have to be stored inside. So all this has to be done prior to actually receiving these.
And they're on loan.
So they're going to be given to us because they received
Given?
yes, so
Wow.
there's no additional cost of receiving these because they were received through a ULC grant. So they received 6, and out of the 6, they offered up 4. We were able to start the process for 2 of them. So I don't have an exact timeline of when hopefully we'll be getting these. If I had to take a guess, I would say probably closer towards the end of November.
Did you guys have recommendations how you want to test them and where that would be?
So once we move through that process with the paperwork, we would be doing testing, and that's something we work with LA County Fire Department to do the testing, because again, it goes back to, especially during a disaster and those red flag warning days, the criteria, the locations in which these want to be placed, but we will be doing testing throughout the city.
Okay.
That sounds like a no-brainer, really. No cost, here's your, kind of surprising though that a city the size of Los Angeles couldn't find a way to use 6 of them themselves.
Exactly.
Kind of odd.
Exactly.
Is that what you're thinking, Gabe? I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, sure.
Take them.
Do we need to make a recommendation on this, or just, is this for our?
That's the thing.
It was just to get your guys' input on the criteria that we've kind of put out there and the proposed neighborhoods.
Yeah, I think that your ideas of ingress and egress are really important. I mean, these are kind of no-brainers. I mean, Keegan's suggestion for Corral, I just don't know how far the noise is gonna go.
Might reach that lower bowl, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of the ridge, you know?
Yeah.
It's not gonna reach the upper area.
No.
Well, definitely not the upper area. I was thinking that,
Yeah, Sequin,
yeah,
there,
the lower area.
So I always wanted this, and again, this is not science fiction, but I was always hoping for senior citizens or people who may be more remote, to have some kind of a receiver inside their homes where they could hear. So the high power speaker are amazing, but if there was anything, like somebody would put it next to their bed, and it would be, cause they have it in Japan, right? And so everyone is aware, even if they miss the sirens, they can hear. So can you just check to see if there's any technology?
We just kicked that up to, we just kicked that up to city council, right? So
There
they're
was a
reviewing.
program.
Yep.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Last year, a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fire department gave out these alert.
Yeah, like
Just
fire
process
alarm.
somewhere.
And we're exploring a variety of options right now and how we can move forward with that, because we do realize that is one of the biggest issues is communication here. So we are exploring options on how we can get the communication out during those, especially indoors during those incidents.
Because I can never hear anything, right? I mean, like what if double-edged windows or triple
Double
or whatever.
pane with time
I remember
dark,
one time
yeah.
I woke up and I wasn't actually no, I was up, but I wasn't, looking, and I didn't know that there were two engines right outside my window for something else, but I could not hear them because of the windows and soundproof. So just the senior citizens and everyone else would be good. And I know you love technology, you love getting vendors, I know that you love that, so, yeah. Anything modern, that would be great.
We're trying to look at the T-Mobile's new, the new Apple ones are satellite, that you can pick satellite signals off of. And they'll have push to talk as well. So, I mean, hopefully there's some technology coming down the line that people could have. If the power's out everywhere, they still could get, if a notification was sent by the city into the internet, it could still be received.
That would
even
be
if the power
great.
was out.
Only if the phone's outside of the.
Yeah,
Yeah, have that.
or what T-Mobile is trying to do is to harden some of the sites that they have that are sending internet signals. So they're also trying to do what some others aren't, and that's put a lot more hardening to their ability so that if, SoCal Edison cuts the power, they're still running, for at least for a decent time. And if they can keep that up for like 2-3 hours, you can get notification.
That's great, or just the radios that we have at
Let's
here.
keep it on
Yeah.
the.
Just like 1 second, the radios are really good, because city has its own channel.
As far as this, I think, my opinion, you guys can give your input specifically, but I think that you're on the right track. When we get these things here, I think we test them and kind of course of construction type thing, we'll figure out what works and what doesn't, and then we'll figure out kind of where they need to be placed. Everybody's got a truck,
I have
so
a
we can tell
question,
these
Sarah.
things anywhere.
If these did work really well, or, along the coast or wherever, and maybe you could either one of you could answer this, would there be grant money possibly available to purchase more? If this turned out to be a good system?
Those are definitely options I don't know offhand, but something we could explore.
It is
what's out
public
there.
safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know the price of them?
No, I don't know how the price, because they were received through a grant from
Yeah.
the
Right now it's
state.
free.
The better question is, the canyons are always the worries for us, especially PRA, like we were just talking about, and us not having jurisdiction. I think it behooves us to speak with Corvat's office and Sophia Sudani and see if they'd be willing to work with us on placing some of these in PRA.
Upper Corral.
Yeah, up in Corral,
Yeah, sure.
in the areas that we don't have jurisdiction in. I know Sophia's, really active, and we could reach out to her and just say, hey, would you guys be willing to let us place these in an agreement? Could be cool.
And, just to kind of keep in mind too, these sirens would be stored indoors until the time it's needed to deploy them. So they're not gonna be out there the entire time.
Could we deploy them for red flags?
Yeah, so like we could deploy them prior, but it's not something that would be, once we put them out there, that they would be stationed there permanently, like, they would have to be stored indoors.
Okay, so we could put them out leading up to a red flag?
Yes.
And leave them out to a red flag?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks for the info.
Great doing a sit down.
We good to move on? All right.
Oh, Commissioners? I
Yes.
just want to make it clear, we closed the public comment period, there's no
Yes.
more speaker slips, and then we will need a motion to,
File.
review the proposed criteria and then the feedback.
We need a motion to receive and file?
That's what I
No.
put there.
No.
No, we
I
don't.
don't think so.
He put the motion.
Sarah, you're satisfied with the feedback you received is adequate and you have clear direction?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
you're good.
Yeah, just-
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a perfect job.
Perfect.
No feedback whatsoever.
And more sound from the back.
We're
The
scared of
best.
her, we give her a lot of room.
The new Mary? Okay.
Oh, Jesus, please. Mary would have a clamp on my mouth.
5B, Public Safety Agency Monthly Activity Report. Give us the goods,
Ooh, that's a big one.
the fun stuff. Do we have, well, go for it.
Finish your thought.
Yeah.
First, we have 2 new deputies on the special assignment team for Malibu. So they're here tonight. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I'm not stand up. My name's Deputy Agakanian. My last name's long, so you guys can call me Ani. I've been here for 2 years now at this station, so.
I'm Deputy Christopher Matkin. Also been here about 2 years. Really looking forward to serving you guys and trying to alleviate your issues that you guys are having.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
So they've performed extraordinarily well in their regular patrol assignments. So when they applied for it during the openings, they stood out head and shoulders above the rest of them. So here they are now.
Well, he's about 6'8", so I'm sure he did.
How do we know if he's smiling?
She's the fire. So you'll see them in Malibu regularly.
Good.
Awesome.
And thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So this past Friday, we did a DUI checkpoint at PCH and Webway, and the statistics from that, we issued 6 citations for unlicensed drivers. We issued 2 citations for driving on a suspended license. We made 1 DUI arrest, and we impounded 2 vehicles during the operation. And then in the midst of that, we had a terrible crash at PCH in Carbon Canyon, where a pedestrian was struck by a vehicle, and they're currently in the hospital on life support, critical condition. So the cause of that crash is still under investigation, and the driver that was involved, they stayed on scene and they were cooperative with the deputies that were there. Moving on, Chris talked about the graffiti on one of his properties. So that spanned the entire perimeter wall on that structure that was burned out, and that takes a substantial amount of time to do. So what we want to see is we want people to call us when they see people who are trespassing on property. Whether they live there or not, or whether they're associated with that, that's for us to investigate. So we want residents or people traveling on the highway to call us so we can go out and investigate. And then that leads into the letter of agency that we were discussing earlier. So Deputy Agakani is going to talk about the letter of agency and what we'd like to see from the residents.
Hi guys. So when it comes down to letter of agency, I know you spoke about renewing it. There is a lot of commercial buildings like grocery stores, any like little stores here that have previous old ones that they present to us when we do come, and for it to hold up in court and legally, it's not going to. So they need to get the renewal. We always let them know, hey, if you don't have it, even residents sometimes when they flag us down, my partner and I, we always tell them, hey, get a letter of agency, because like you stated before, a lot of these residents, especially on the east side where the fire was, they don't live there anymore. They're not around, or they're businessmen, they have property managers, all of that stuff, so it's a lot easier for us to arrest these people. Also, if they don't have a letter of agency, I don't know if you can reach out to the stores, managers, whoever it is. We have a hard time communicating that if someone does vandalize your place, is trespassing, you should and probably you have to be willing to press charges. If we don't press charges on these people that are coming through our city, it's not really gonna go anywhere. So we love doing our job, we're gonna be there, we're gonna take the report, but at the end of the day, if it's a misdemeanor and no one wants to press charges because they're too afraid to go to court, it's not really gonna go anywhere for us to be prosecuting these unhoused or whoever they are, whoever's coming into our cities they could be coming from Santa Monica, they could be coming from Oxnard, so we have to have the citizens and the community on our side, and if they are gonna call for stuff like this, they need to stay there, because they give us phone numbers, we can't reach them, we get there, they're already gone, so we need the victim, we need the people, we need the, business owners, whatever it needs to be done, they just need to be able to communicate with us, because we're here for the community. I came from a different station that dealt with specifically homeless people, like on the metro system. So I'm very well aware of how to deal with anybody, and most of the people that are coming in that are newer, because I'm sure a lot of we've seen an increase of them, is because of the metro system that's coming through, and we can't obviously stop them because there are workers that come here to work at these restaurants that are utilizing the metro, and it's a disservice to them to have people who are coming here just to do felonious activities and to leave. So what I can say is please always be around for us to be able to prosecute these people. If it is a misdemeanor, you need to sign a citizen's arrest form. We highly suggest it, but obviously I can't give you guys that. It has to be, we have to be able to prosecute. If someone goes into Ralph's, steals 2 bottles of beer, it might not be big enough for them, but it's just gonna keep adding up and adding up and adding up. And at what point are these businesses gonna be like, okay, that's enough? So we're working pretty hard to go to like these parks and stuff where all the unhoused are, but there's only so much we can do if the community doesn't wanna press charges. We'll try to get them off the streets, but like I said, it has to come from the businesses, and letter of agency is really important, so.
Can you download a letter of agency?
Yeah, on our website, on LASD,
and the
you can.
city's website.
And then
Yeah,
make sure
it's
that
on the
we
city's
have a
website. Yeah.
copy of it. I always say if anybody can come to the station, give us a copy, and if you do come, like, most of the time, I don't know if the security guards in this Civic Center way or Cross Creek have the copy of it, but it's nice to have a physical copy. If we don't have one at our station, it's good to have there, and it doesn't have to be for specific people, it could be for the property itself. We do see an influx of people on PCH on the, I think, 1900 block? Yeah, 1900 block, where those fences are up, where there is no properties and they're utilizing the beach. We try to do our best to get them off, because realistically, these people don't understand that there were houses there. You wouldn't be able to walk through to get to the beach. Now it's just fences, so they could figure out a way to get onto the beach, but with graffiti as well, it's during the night. We've been conducting patrol checks. If we find them, then we're not scared. We're more than welcome to press charges, but it's the letter of agency is really important, especially one that's up to date and someone who's willing to, even on top of that, sign for us, and be that witness or informant for us, and to not be scared to go to court. That's another thing. People come and do these reports, and then they don't show up to court, they don't call the DA back, they don't call our detectives back, so then now we don't have a case. So we're more than happy to take people to jail, but it also comes with everybody having to come to these cases, so then it just stacks up, and then hopefully at one point they understand they can't come to our city and do whatever they want, and then just keep coming back. So hopefully we can do it better.
How do you tie in with Frank Espinoza?
How do I?
How do you guys tie in with Frank?
Oh, we work with him on a daily basis, because I'm familiar with most of the unhoused here, just because I just go around and talk to them. He's really good with them because he's been around for so long, so he knows who's still here, who's arrested, who hasn't been here. So he provides a lot of information with us. I've been in contact with our host team, which is the homeless outreach team, and I'm trying to get them to come out here to provide more outreach programs for them, but it comes down to if they want to accept it or not. So
Shawnee and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
They're great.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I've worked with them. They're
yeah,
great to work with. Yeah.
like Malibu's pretty out of like it's a drive here,
Yes.
but if we do have, like, we've provided statistics to them of, hey, what's going on in our area, and they're willing to come and help us, but also we have to have the communities on our side in a way where if they really want, like, the kids walking from school and back, that's what I walked to school 10, 15 years ago, so I don't like seeing them not walking to school or they're too scared. That's why we try to show presence, but also I understand, like, the concern, but we try to provide as much security as we can with the amount of people that we have down here, but letter of agency is really important, especially in this area where we have so many businesses, so, yeah.
And can I say something quick? Yes?
Go for it.
Okay. Definitely I'm Persian, so your name sounds Persian. So is it possible for you to make like a 2 or 3 minute video and say exactly what you said, PSA, that people, you encourage them to endure through the process of filing charges and going to court? It's Zoom, so I mean, you don't even have to go to court in person. And also to keep their letters of agency updated. Is it and then you put it on the
I mean,
website.
I can make it work, yeah, I'm on the social media team at our station, so.
Yeah, and then we put it in Nextdoor on Facebook and.
Yeah, we can,
everywhere.
I would, sorry, I don't know what your position is.
I'm just a commissioner. That's all.
Okay, if you guys could reach out to the community and let them know, our Instagram, if they have it, Facebook, Twitter, if they can follow that, because we are more active on it, so we do post a lot of safety stuff, a lot of stuff that's informative for them to be able to understand where we're coming from, but yeah, I can do something video wise and maybe email it out to you guys.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to have.
That's what I meant.
No, I've been
Back to you.
Continuing on, there are a couple incidents all involving homeless individuals. So in one incident, a suspect shoplifted from the Whole Foods down the street. The manager followed the female suspect over to the playground area behind Earth's Burger, where she sat down and started eating the stolen items. The deputies contacted her and she was uncooperative. She armed herself with a glass bottle, one of the items she stole, and threatened the deputies. The deputies ended up using force on her to take her into custody, and 2 of the deputies were had minor injuries during the encounter, and the suspect had minor injuries as well. She was also wanted out of Ventura County for battery on a peace officer. And so she was arrested for assault with deadly weapon on a peace officer and for causing injury. In another incident, this one happened on the 25th last month. The victim was inside the library. And the suspect approached the victim and okay, yeah. So the suspect approached the victim and threatened the victim and used racial epithets towards the victim. The suspect then left, and then the victim, a short time later, left the library and was confronted again by the suspect in the parking lot, who had armed himself with a large stick. The suspect again threatened the victim. The victim left the area, called us. We responded, investigated. We located the suspect nearby and arrested him for a hate crime. Yeah, criminal threats, violation of parole, a hate crime, and also he had secreted narcotics on his person, and he brought them into the jail, which is a felony, which we found later. So he was arrested for those charges.
Was he from California?
The residence address says transient, so, but he had
been around here for
a California ID, so, yes.
A local?
fish.
One of
First
the
report we've had with the word secretion.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In another incident, this one happened also on the 25th. A victim was walking in a crosswalk in the 22,600 block of PCH when the suspect pulled his pants down and exposed himself to her, and exposed his genitalia. The victim was disturbed by the incident and called the Sheriff's Department. We responded and located that suspect nearby as well, and he was identified as the suspect by the victim, so we arrested him, and while arresting him, we located a meth pipe on him. And later, when we were booking him, we discovered that he's had convictions for the same offense for indecent exposure. And so having a previous conviction makes it a felony, so he's in custody now for that felony crime. And he was also a transient.
What, was that on PCH?
That
What-
was
What block?
Like by Malibu Health?
near Nobu, 22,600.
You know, my wife and I'm pretty sure we saw the same guy. We're driving down the highway. He
Yeah.
wasn't quite in the state that you're talking about there, but very close.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were 3 homeless fires in kind of the same area, the Civic Center area. One of them was near the tennis courts down the street here. That was actually on private property. It's owned by Pepperdine. And so I contacted their public safety department and informed them of it because they didn't have any idea that it happened. So they're gonna increase their patrols with their security officers in that area. And we also went and cleaned up the encampment. The person that was there had left after the incident, and so we were unable to locate them. And another one that happened inside Legacy Park, we responded after, and there was the remnants of a small fire. But again, there was nobody in the area, so we cleaned up that encampment in there, and then there was a cooking fire in the parking lot of the library. So, I have the crime statistics for the month of September. I'll pull those up. So in September, there were 25 Part 1 crimes reported, and that brings the total to 199. So this compares with the same time last year, or 440 at the same time last year. And, no, I'm sorry, that was total. So there's 351 the same time last year, and 199 this year. So that's a 43.3% decrease year over year. Finally, the County of Los Angeles conducted their own after-action report on the Eaton and Palisades fire, and that was just produced this past week. It's 133 pages. So it's public information. You can go onto the county's website and it's listed on there. So it's pretty comprehensive. And that is all I have. So I can take questions if you have any.
We'll do the report. We'll listen to everybody and then we'll have questions. Mark, do you have anything?
Yeah. So happy to report that we did get our 3rd car now. So they're beautiful. They're up there. They're not. We can't use them yet, but we're still waiting on the bailment. But if you want to go check them out, they're state of the art. They're really nice. So we're pretty pleased about that. We have a new member that's in training, so we're pretty happy. He's a guy that was actually a volunteer for LAPD, so he's coming. He's on our team. He's going through training right now, doing a great job. We ended up working the Malibu Triathlon on September 14th, and that was a great event. The traffic configuration was a little interesting, but it was actually a really good way to do it. So everything went off without a hitch. We didn't have any issues with that, and I think everybody had a good time. I saw Sarge here running, swimming, and biking, so I was happy to see that. He was representing. We worked the DUI checkpoint with the deputies on Friday, and very busy. I knew that it was going to be a good one because none of my neighbors called me to see where the DUI checkpoint was. So I think everybody was surprised by it, so, but it went off, but we had to leave to go to that accident down on Carbon, because we had to close the highway for that while they were doing their investigation, but it was an unfortunate, and it's unfortunate it was kind of in the same area, given the speed too, it's, you know, it's a restricted speed zone, but it happens. And then we have some upcoming training that we're gonna be doing with Station 271 up Corral. We're not trying to be firefighters like Keegan, but inevitably we try, you know, we find ourselves fighting fires. So we want to get a little more training with the team. So that's about it. That's all I have. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. You have one public
Yeah, I
comment?
just got a quick question.
Afterwards, just fill out a speaker slip.
Please fill out a speaker slip.
Alright.
Yeah.
For Christopher, do you know like roughly how
Just,
many?
I gotta just quickly stop you. So, it's kind of, we might choose to, it's not a back and forth. You can make comments, ask a question.
Okay.
They might answer, might not, but that's just
So
the way it
do you
works.
know roughly how many people that are committing these crimes are like repeat offenders, or been to jail, then let out, and then immediately like commit another crime and get sent back to jail or prison?
Great question.
You have 3 minutes if you want to continue speaking.
Specifically, no, but generally, it's a vast majority of the people we deal with are repeat offenders.
And how would we like fix that, or get them to stop committing more crimes?
That's the $1 million question.
When you're old enough to vote.
Keep more straight.
A DA that is picky, pick a DA that keeps it.
Thanks for getting involved.
Thank you, great question.
We have no more speaker cards, so we're gonna close the public hearing.
Great. Lexus.
I have a question, Sergeant Toiler. The Carbon Canyon unfortunate accident, was the pedestrian had the right of way?
No, the pedestrian was walking outside of the crosswalk.
So if you want me to answer, since it's my handle.
I just
Oh.
wanna.
He's actually the one doing the traffic investigation.
Thank you.
Hi, so the pedestrian did not have the right of way. He was in the number 1 lane of PCH going northbound. The driver came around the corner, it's dimly lit there, came around the corner, saw the pedestrian, hit the brakes, tried to avoid him, and unfortunately, the pedestrian was struck.
Oh, that's horrible. Can I say something quickly?
Yes.
So that's why I have a problem with a crosswalk or light in front of moon shadows, because it just doesn't work on a highway.
Doesn't work.
Okay, I'm done.
I think moon shadows took care of that problem.
Deputy, did you say that the pedestrian was walking into the traffic?
Yes, he
In the
was in
traffic.
the number 1 lane.
Okay.
It is unsure, based on the statements of the driver, on what direction he was heading, but he was in the lanes of travel.
Is it true he had a yellow safety vest on?
He did not. He had a blanket. He did have a yellow shirt on,
Okay.
but he did not have a safety vest on.
Got it.
And he was probably about 50 yards away from the Carbon Canyon crosswalk. So, don't know why he was in the roadway at that point. So it's
Thank you.
And it was evening, what time?
it was, the call for service came out around 9:40 at night.
Oh,
So it was dark, and he was in the portion of the roadway that was not lit by street lights.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Deputy. Keegan, you have anything?
No, sir.
Chris?
Good. Brent?
No, sir. Thank you very much. Glad
You're
you got
welcome.
your car.
Yes.
When, do you anticipate the bailment agreement?
I have no idea. I hope.
want a date.
Yeah, I know. I would love to give you one. I would like to know that myself. But hopefully, it's been in the works for a while.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that in the next 60 days, we'll have some traction. I'd like to have it by, November. Well, I mean, it's not gonna happen by November, but I'd like to have it this year. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Thank you. Homeless Services Monthly Report.
Sir, good evening again. solid month for the average team in August. 5 housing placements, all temporary housing. A few of those I know were in our Turning Point facility over in Santa Monica. Some of those units got utilized and others were elsewhere throughout the county. So these guys are real good at just whenever the Santa Monica units are not available, they know who to knock on doors. 2, they know where to ask, they know how to do it. So solid month. 5 people moved off the street. And as mentioned, they'll be participating in that internal homeless count that we have scheduled for later this month. And just, they continue to work with the sheriff's department day in, day out, make placements as needed, and just respond to any calls for service that we get for anybody that's in need of services. But happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Luis. Good job.
What is the reason for one back on the street?
Multiple reasons. Sometimes the people that are back on the streets are the people who were previously moved off the street. And that usually happens when they lose a housing opportunity. So once they go into shelter, doesn't mean they're automatically guaranteed that unit for an extended period of time. If they go into a shelter and they're, misbehaving or, involved in drugs, doing whatever it is that they need to do that violates their code of conduct, they lose that unit and they move up and they go back on the street. But these are, that particular data point here are people that have been previously housed or previously been moved off the street that are now re-entered street homelessness in the system. Yeah.
Anyone else? Thank you very much, Luis.
Of course.
Easy. Parking.
I want to make it clear there was no public speaker slips on that item.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Right, so for August 2025 parking enforcement report, another strong month. Not as high as the July number, but just up there. I mean, we had a total of 5,875 citations. So second busiest month this year so far. Once again, 5875. The breakdown of the violations looks pretty similar to it does, every other month. So dominant citation here is the no front license plate. 43.6% of those citations were for that. 20% were for obeying signs, curbs, and markings. So parking on red, of course. About 10% were for expired registration. About 6% for fire hydrant, and everything else constituted 20%. So another strong month by our parking enforcement team, and again, they just continue to work hand in hand with the sheriffs, with Mark's team, with the VOPs, and everybody's on board with checking the hot spots that they need to check, and they've been instrumental in helping us deal with the RV issue overnight. So happy to answer any questions.
Are these just LAS or this is LAS and VOP?
Just last.
Just LAS.
So VOPs have another piece of the pie.
Anyone else? Okay.
There were no public speaker slips on that item.
Thank you again, Gail. Thank you very much.
You did a
Appreciate
great
you.
job, Gail.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I want to thank staff for everything. Thank everybody.
Always.
Are we adjourning by
Thank you,
consensus?
boys, for coming and checking us out. Hope you felt welcome. And come back. Hey, welcome to Malibu.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
It's adjourned by consensus, correct?
adjourned. Let's go.
It's at 6:25. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.